Yeah, they were taking nameplates, you name it, they were taking it. I feel like this is how you guys are a little bit with Nate's closet, you know? I see Kyle getting sneaks.
Oh.
I think, Kay, you've gotten a pink coat. I mean, I feel like as soon as Nate leaves, you guys are just all over his closet.
Was that a raid, or did he call those guys and say, you can have my cleats?
No idea.
No,
Thanks so much,
I think it was a
Will,
raid.
for bringing us this story.
It was a raid?
Nate, is this something that happens, and is this okay?
I've never seen it happen before. I'm curious to know if Le'Veon was basically like, guys, go right ahead, because I'm really confused by that clip.
Peter, you have a furrowed brow. Yeah, because this is guy fights for labor, and the players' union is saying we got to be standing together, and instead you've got a fellow teammate or ex-teammate raiding his closet with the media laughing, cackling, ha 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 ha. And good luck in that labor dispute with the owners in a couple of years if that's how unified you guys are. I mean, he was standing for something. Good luck. That's a great image. Funny, but
Peter, I feel like you took a turn on this topic.
I did, because everyone fled from
happened?
Le'Veon Bell on this one, and I'm not the usual player's voice guy, but I thought. And then at 4:01 yesterday, the Pittsburgh media turned on Le'Veon Bell too, and all the local beat reporters cackling and laughing while his locker's being raided. The guy tried standing for something. He sacrificed $14 million, and it's now a joke. And what an idiot he is. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the day, maybe he stood for something.
I think that's funny, though. A lot of people were mute up until that point because they knew if he came back, they still would have to look that man in his eyes. As soon as they realized he wasn't coming back, now everybody has strong opinions. I think we kind of flip sides back and forth because we love Le'Veon. We also understand the business of the game, so we weren't afraid to voice our opinions like we always have been. But when it comes to people in Pittsburgh, I saw them sit back quietly because they didn't want to say anything.
They don't know if he was going to show up, Nate.
Be a man and say it, or be a strong woman of what you mean and what you say and what you feel. Because if you felt a certain type of way about Le'Veon, say it all the way up until 4.
What if you didn't until it happened at 4, that he didn't show up for the rest of the season when this team is a Super Bowl contender, and now you're not coming back?
I feel like if you have an opinion,
after James Conner's in concussion protocol, maybe as a reporter or a member of that media,
or
you
a fan.
don't feel that certain
reporter,
sort of
fan. But if you say
until that happens.
But if you say, I feel like Le'Veon is selfish, he should be here, it's ridiculous. Don't say that at 4:01. Say it the whole time. We said it plenty of times on the show. I'm not afraid to Le'Veon come up here and say, Nate, I don't like what you said about me. I'll tell them why I said it. But I feel like at 4:01, to Peter's point, a lot of people put on their cape and was like, well, let me tell you how I really feel. Oh, it's too late now.
How do you feel about this?
I just say if Peter ever leaves, I got dibs on his Fox Sports jacket. That's mine. Don't even take that thing from me. That is mine. Listen, they're taking some shoes, guys. I mean, they're not trashing his house. Like, the guys love free shoes and everything like that, right? They just got on camera. It looks like they're having a party. It's just cleats, Peter. I know. It's just cleats. But I respect it.
If it's 3, I'll take 3, right?
Yeah, right?
Let's move on, but we'd love to hear your comments, guys, at #GMFB. Le'Veon saga continues to unfold, or at least be a topic of discussion for now. Let's talk a massive NFC North showdown.
Here we go.
Loving this. It's Sunday night action. It's the Vikings. It is the Chicago Bears. Let's send it over to our very own Stacey Dales for more.
Two powerhouse defenses, Vikings, Bears, getting set to face off on Sunday night in a battle for what will be first in the NFC North. And while the buzz continues to surround Khalil Mack and his 7 sacks at the front of Chicago's top 5 defensive unit, the man at the forefront of Minnesota's top 5 group, Danielle Hunter, now in year 4, he continues to fly under the radar despite his 11.5 sacks. I asked head coach Mike Zimmer what makes him special.
Well, he's a great athlete, number one. Great length and size and strength, and you know, he's a guy that doesn't think he's a superstar. He thinks he's one of the guys. You know, he just tries to get better every single day. Now he's playing a lot more free.
Well, Zimmer said that the humble Hunter has really come along in his development over the past year. Khalil Mack has been a household name for years. Zimmer noting that Mack has added a swagger to a defense in Chicago that already had swagger, but he's added a physicality, an aggressive nature that's really had an effect on this entire defense.
Amazing stuff from Stacey Dales as always. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. You have the Bears there leading the division. They're taking on the Vikings, who are, you know, on pace for a wild card, but their defense looks amazing. We'll get to that in a little bit. At this moment, guys, do you believe that the Bears, seeing where they are in that entire playoff mix that will be changing week in, week out, are they contenders, Nate?
Yeah, respect them for where they are. Right now, they're at the top of the mountain in the NFC North. And I know people are saying, well, look at their last 3 games and look at who they play, the Lions, Jets, and the Bills. They can't help their schedule. What they can help is how they beat up on these teams, 34-22, beat up on the Jets 41-9, and then 24-10. So if you're looking at these guys and what they do to these teams, that's somewhat impressive. You know what's more impressive?
What?
Their losses. To the Packers by 1 beginning of the season, to the Dolphins by 3, to the Patriots by a touchdown. You're telling me that this team is at top of the NFC North right now, lost to some very good teams at the beginning of the season, can be respected as contenders? I feel like even though the Vikings are the team that we have to respect because they're the former NFC North champs, I don't respect the team that's playing well right now. And for whatever it's worth, that Nagy offense, Trubisky, and all those guys they're using, starting to take shape.
I'm going to wait on my opinion because I want to hear from the two Chicago natives because I know there are years and years of frustrations and also success, but what do you guys think?
You know what I usually come back to with the Bears is they can't beat Rodgers. They have a huge Rodgers problem. But the good news about this year is that's not really a factor because they're so far ahead in the standings, they may not need to beat Rodgers. Here's what I look at. This whole season for the Bears, it's just prove it, prove it, prove it. Trubisky, prove you were worth the draft. And Mack, prove you're worth the trade. Robinson, prove you still got it. Nagy, everybody prove it. The way you prove it, I think, right now is you got to win on the road, especially in the NFC. If the Bears are going to have to go to New Orleans or go to the Rams and win those games, they've done nothing on the road yet this season. I mean, they've beaten the Cardinals and the Bills. They've no big road wins. That's huge for me, all right? And the problem is, too, their road games coming up are the Lions, the Giants, and the Niners. So we're not going to learn bubkiss about them. We may not learn them until they go at Minnesota Week 17. I think they're a huge contender in the NFC North and the playoffs. But Super Bowl, you got to have that signature road win before we talk about it.
If you're in a relationship and things are going really great and you're having these exciting vacations and all of that, it's fine, and that's how I feel as a Bears fan. But my heart is a little protected because there's some scar tissue there from being a Bears fan. I will not say that they're contenders, and when I define that as a Super Bowl contender, which they could be the way that they're looking, until they beat the Vikings. After that, I know that they have another primetime game Thursday night, but they've got to take care of the Rams. They've got that brutal schedule. If they fall to 6-4, it's going to be really hard to do that, considering the Vikings and the Packers have already taken on the Rams, and that's in their record baked in. I'm looking at this game against the Vikings. It's the best defense they're going to face. Maybe this year, the way that they're looking. It's crazy to me to think that just a couple of weeks ago, week 4, we had Zimmer after that Rams game saying, I've never had a pass defense play this poorly. I don't know what we're doing out there. And since that speech that he gave post-game, they're the number 3 defense in the league. They're looking great. Everson back. They're clicking. They're celebrating. So that's the biggest test to me. That is like moving in with your boyfriend because it might not work out. They might fall out of the playoffs or get beat. But that is like a sign of commitment that you can rest easy on. Beating the Vikings on the road, the toughest defense they're going to face, that's that for me.
We talking vacations and boyfriends? Oh, we got some conversation to be had at the commercial break.
I'm feeling some kind of way today.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, and that's actually a better show than this one. I would say with Nate's thing, it was like reality right now. You guys are talking history and prove it and all that stuff. Like, for me, I go back with like NFL history. I remember last year, the Eagles were this team that was just cruising and each week winning, and we were like, yeah, but they were the last place team a year before. And is Nick Foles really going to be able to beat Tom Brady in one of these big games? And he did. And then we woke up, we were like, wait, the Eagles Super Bowl champions? Like,
Peter, are you saying Chase Daniel's going to be the Super Bowl MVP? No, are you saying that?
No, but I'll even go back to like the greatest show on turf Rams back in 99. They were 4-12 in 98. 99, it's like, Kurt Warner's a cool story, and it's fun for St. Louis. But I mean, are they really going to beat...
Enough of this.
Tony Dungy going to lose to those guys? And then they were. And then they were MVPs, and they were Super Bowl MVPs. So I would just say with Kay, wait and see, but let's allow ourselves to celebrate
a little bit
and enjoy what they're doing, because we could be on an amazing ride right now with the Bears, and you don't want to wake up the Tuesday after the Super Bowl and be like, did the Bears just win the Super Bowl and I not appreciate everything that was going on? They're having a really fun year, and they're winning the games.
They're at Vikings in Week 17. They're playing at home against the Vikings this week in a couple primetime games. I mean, that Sunday nighter to the Thursday nighter, that's going to be some adversity that they're going to have to face as a team. We'll see if they can do. I'm excited. I haven't moved in with him yet, you know?
There's nothing better than the little girly razor in the shower.
Once
The
my
pink
stuff's
razor
in the bathroom, I'm good. That is the Vikings.